Healthy Living with Yoga Anita, giving you tips and answering your questions for a healthier you. Saturdays from 10 until noon on Z95.1, WLPZ, and streaming online at WLPZ.org.
And welcome to Healthy Living with Yoga Anita on WLPZ 95.1 FM. In the studio with me, I have Allison Marean. Now, Allison, holidays can be very stressful, but even more when you have learning differences. What Allison does is she helps neurodivergent learners improve their social skills. Welcome, Allison.
Good morning, Anita. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, and thank you for bringing me a nice hot cup of coffee this
welcome.
morning. It's so cold out there, friends, and for some reason they shut off the heat in here, so so I'm even colder. But anyway, thank you, Allison, for coming today. First, can you tell our listeners a little bit about you?
So good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. A little bit about me. I started off as a special education teacher, and I taught in Boston public schools, and then I moved out to Colorado, where I taught in Colorado for a few years. Yeah. And when I was teaching, that's when I saw that there was a huge, as I'm sure you know, there's a big focus on test taking and academics, and I really saw that what my students needed were essential social emotional skills.
Exactly.
Yeah. So so actually myself and my friend, who was the school psychologist, we saw this need, and it was to the point of frustration for me. It was hard to go to work when I felt so torn between, you know, what I was required to teach, but what I knew in my heart that my students really needed.
Oh my goodness, you're singing my song. Yes.
Yes, so my friend and I, we started our business, Successfully Social, out in Denver, Colorado, and we help neurodiverse kids, so that's kids with autism, ADHD, ADD, you know, all the things, just differently wired brains. We help people increase their confidence and understanding of the social world, because that's something that we're not taught in schools. And with social media and how fast the world works, that sometimes kids just need things broken down, and they need to, you know, explicitly understand what's going on, what's expected of me in this moment.
Exactly. So if you don't have a child who has learning differences, you don't understand, because they don't look, I wouldn't say sick, but they don't look like there's anything wrong with them. But there definitely is something that's different about them, and you get all this feedback and this this negative pushback when they do something that's out of the ordinary, and it's just it's so difficult to try to reach them sometimes. Now, I heard you say that you work with children as young as 2.
Yes.
Have they been diagnosed at that young?
Nope, not a lot of them. What I do is I work with a preschool in Pepperell, and I offer a social play group on Sunday mornings, and it's for those kiddos, those parents who might be noticing like something, just my kid needs a little bit more support with transitions, or when they get upset, they're upset for a long time. So that's something I work with people with, is managing their emotions and understanding their emotions. So kiddos at 2.5, that's really young, but I help parents understand their own child so that they can work with them at home and support them.
A little adult education as well?
Yes.
Do a shout out for that preschool, because some of our listeners might want to know about that.
Ooh, it's an amazing preschool in Pepperell. It's called the Family Tree Child Care Center.
I know exactly where that is, because I used to work at Barnum Brook Elementary.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Great.
So I know exactly what that is, and I do know their reputation.
Oh, they're amazing.
A very, very good reputation.
Yes.
Okay, so what else? So you work with the little ones, but tell us about your week time. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I also I have I offer social groups and individual coaching, and one group that I had this past week was my teen group, which I really love. It's a group of teens who they come together. Sometimes we go to different restaurants. Sometimes last year we went Christmas shopping, and then it gives them an opportunity to connect with each other because, as I'm sure you know, it's hard to make friends. It's hard to make friends, keep friends. So it's not a friendship-making group, but what I do is I help these teens understand themselves. They also, sometimes they come in and they're like, oh, this person in school said this, or this is the situation I'm dealing with, and we can all kind of talk through it.
Right.
And just help them understand how do they feel in this moment, how do other people feel in this moment, what are their options, because I like kids to know that we always have choices, we always have options. So
can you tell us about that? What are their options when they come to you and they're just so frustrated and kind of flying off the the deep end there?
Yeah.
What do you tell them? What do you tell them to do to calm themselves down? I know in yoga I tell people what to do to calm themselves down. What do you do?
Yeah, so I always help kids with different self-regulation techniques like breathing. I also encourage them to talk with their parents or talk with a teacher, because I think oftentimes kids don't know who to talk to or that it is okay to talk to people.
Right.
So I like to encourage them, like, hey, talk to mom or dad, talk to an older brother or an older sister,
Right.
or you have teachers or a counselor in school, because I think that, again, kids need to be explicitly taught that there are people here for you. I'm
Right.
here for you. And actually I had a student, he's a high school student, and he was dealing with this kid who kept teasing him because, unfortunately, my client, he said something that, you can't take it back. And it was a little embarrassing for him. And then, of course, this other student won't stop talking to him about it, won't stop teasing him about it. And I'm really proud of my client because he tried to do the ignore thing. Sometimes you have to problem solve, you have to try different things out. There's no one solution for this situations, right? So
Right.
I really encourage problem solving, trying things again. If it doesn't work, try it again this way. So he tried ignoring, he tried talking to his teacher, and last week he told me, he said, I just got to the point where I was so frustrated, and rather than arguing with this kid or yelling or popping off in the classroom, he went home and he said to his mom, I just can't do it anymore. I need you to help me.
Oh, my goodness.
And his mom, who is amazing, and she was aware of the situation, but letting her child
try to navigate on his own.
Yep. And so she, of course, stepped in, and that's when she was able to call the school, and she had a great conversation, and they were able to problem solve it with the other student. And my client felt so good about speaking up for himself, and you have to try things. And I think I gave him so much credit for being brave and speaking up for himself, and I love it. It gives me goosebumps.
How do our children refer to you?
Yeah. So I like to meet up with school counselors. So
Okay.
oftentimes school counselors will refer me to parents. And that's really helpful because, like I said, they don't have these services in school, which is why I left the educational system.
Right. Well, guidance counselors are spread so thin.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have to do so much,
Absolutely.
along with the social worker, and and every day is different. I know.
Yeah.
I know. So, yeah, kudos to them for all the hard work that they do. But you're right.
Absolutely.
There's just not enough time in the day, and then there might be a crisis situation that they have to deal with. So, yeah, and then some, these kids just get left behind. And, we see in the news, in the media, the consequences of that when they do get left behind and they don't feel heard. What happens to them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are having a conversation with Allison. We will be taking a break to hear some messages from our sponsor, and we will be back. You are listening to Healthy Living with Yoga Anita on WLPZ 95.1 FM. I have Allison Marean, and Allison is a social coach. She is, I don't like to say a former teacher, because once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. So we're both from the education background. And Allison also has something special that she incorporates in her practice, which is laughter yoga. So I'm a yoga teacher, and so tell us about laughter yoga. What's that all about?
Laughter yoga is an exercise program. Laughter yoga is an exercise program that was developed in Mumbai, India, by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and it's based on laughter without external triggers. So all you need is kind of a willingness to be a little bit silly, play pretend, and you initiate kind of fake laughter, and it quickly turns into real laughter because of something called the contagious effect.
Yes.
And the thing is, when we laugh, our body releases all these feel-good neurotransmitters and hormones. So laughter is actually a form of medicine, if you ask me. And laughter has been helpful for me. Like I said, I was a teacher kind of struggling with burnout, and my friend invited me to a laughter yoga session, and I was hooked after that. And I thought, oh my gosh, why don't we do this in schools? Why don't we do this with our kids? Why don't people do this all the time?
Yes, we need more laughter.
Yes.
More laughter.
Yeah, so that is something that I incorporate in my business, and I tell my clients about, and I try to tell my friends about, because I think it's so important, especially with the chaos of daily life, all the pressures, the responsibilities. Sometimes we forget to laugh because we're like, well, I haven't heard a joke, or things aren't funny. But I'm here to let people know that you can fake laugh, and it will quickly turn into real laughter, and you can reap all the amazing health benefits.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. So in your business, you work with people of all ages. How can people get a hold of you?
People can contact me directly. My website is besuccessfullysocial.com. That's besuccessfullysocial.com. On social media, you can look me up at Allison Marean, Marean. Parents can contact me directly through social media, sign up for the newsletter. However, my info is out there, so I'm happy to talk to people, give people, I would love to have a conversation with people if they're just like, I don't know what's going on and I just need to talk to somebody.
Right, because as a parent, you really do get so caught up in what to do, and is this normal, and how can I handle it, and so this is the lady to talk to.
Yes, and if I can't help, I'm happy to refer you to somebody else who can.
Well, Allison, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
This is such important work that you do, especially this time of year, but all year round.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I encourage everybody to laugh today. Laugh at the cold.
Yes, thank you. I'm laughing at the cold right now.
Yes.
You are listening to Healthy Living with Yoga Nita right here on WLPZ 95.1 FM. We are streaming live at WLPZ.org, or better yet, tell your friends to download the Live 365 app, and you can carry us in your pocket wherever you go. Stay tuned, please. And welcome back to Healthy Living with Yoga Nita. I want to thank my guest today, Allison Marean from Successfully Social, for talking to us about how you can help neurodivergent learners improve their social skills. Next week, my guest will be Myra Reyes. She is a minister who specializes in grief support. That should be a very interesting conversation right after the holidays. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful, happy, healthy holiday, Christmas time, and I will see you back here next week. Please like and share this podcast with everyone. Thank you so much for listening in. This is Yoga Nita on WLPZ 95.1 FM. We are streaming live on WLPZ.org. Love and peace.
Healthy Living with Yoga Anita, giving you tips and answering your questions for a healthier you. Saturdays from 10 until noon on Z95.1 WLPZ and streaming online at WLPZ.org.